A brand new tractor can shut itself down in the middle of your field to burn off its own soot, and you just sit there and wait for it. The one machine that will never do that to you is a Ford 3000, and that's number 5 on this list. It's rotting on a dealer lot right now for less than the sales tax on the new one parked beside it. Here's what nobody at that lot is going to explain. These old machines aren't cheap because they're worn out. They're cheap because the whole industry spent 15 years teaching you to fear anything without a warranty and a computer. New tractors got emissions systems, software locks, and dealer-only repairs, and every one of those made a simple pre-computer diesel look obsolete, when the truth is, it's the smarter buy. 5 machines on this list do more work, for less money, than the shiny one they're trying to move. By the end, you'll know which 5 to hunt down, the one badge you're flat-out overpaying for, and the single spec that decides whether a used tractor is a bargain or a money pit. Number 5. The Ford 3000, and its bigger brother, the 4000. If you grew up anywhere near a farm, you've already sat on one. 3-cylinder diesel, no electronics, a transmission you could practically rebuild on a tailgate. And Ford built these by the hundreds of thousands from the late 60s into the 70s, which means parts are everywhere and dirt cheap. A water pump, a clutch, an injection pump, all of it still sitting on a shelf somewhere. Here's the reveal. A running 4000 with a loader trades hands for $3,000 to $6,000, and it'll pull, mow, and grade all day without a single sensor on it to fail. The honest catch? Most are two-wheel drive, and the steering has some slop. So you'll work for it a little. And if the one you're eyeing has the Selecto speed transmission, just walk away. That's the one weak spot Ford ever put in these. The plain geared version is the one you want. But nothing on a straight geared one is going to leave you stranded. And the twist is what that low price really tells you. You're not paying for the tractor. You're paying for how little everyone else wants a plain diesel, with no story attached to it. Their loss. That's number 5, and we're just getting warm. Number 4, the John Deere 790. Green paint, Deere badge, and here's the part that stops most people cold. Deere didn't build it. Yanmar did, in Japan, from 2000 to 2007. It's the same 3-cylinder Yanmar diesel that quietly powers machines wearing a dozen other names. Remember that one, Yanmar, because it comes back before we're done here. And yes, I know I just told you, a beloved Deere is really a Japanese import, so hear me out. The 790 is a genuinely great little tractor. Gear drive, simple, tough as a boot. But here's the honest catch, and it's the whole point of this video. The market already figured this one out. A clean 790 now runs $8,000 to $12,000, because the badge plus that Japanese engine built a reputation. So you're handing over Deere money for a Yanmar tractor. Hold that thought. Number 3, the Massey Ferguson 135. This is the one your grandfather trusted, and he was right to. Under the hood is a Perkins AD3, a 3-cylinder diesel with wet cylinder sleeves, and that matters more than any horsepower number on the sticker. Wet sleeves mean when the engine finally wears out, you drop in fresh liners and pistons and keep right on going. You don't bore the block, you don't scrap it. That engine is rebuildable basically forever. The one quirk to know, on the diesel there's a little glow element called a thermostat in the intake, and when it burns out these get cranky starting in the cold. But that's a $10 part in 20 minutes, not a reason to pass on the tractor. And there were more than 500,000 of these built worldwide, so a good one is $3,000 to $6,000 and the parts will outlive you. The honest catch, a bare 135 came with no loader and no power steering, and bolting a loader on later isn't cheap. But the machine underneath it will outwork tractors worth 10 times as much, because it simply refuses to die. So pause right here for a second. The 790 is a Yanmar. The machine sitting at number 2 is a Yanmar. 2 tractors on this list rolled out of the same Japanese factory, and one of them costs 3 times the other for no reason on earth but the paint. That is the entire game. And if that just saved you from a bad decision at the counter, subscribe, because I do this every week and the lot never runs out of traps. Number 2, a gray market Yanmar. These are the Japanese domestic tractors, the YM2000 and its cousins, shipped straight over from Japan with the decals still printed in Japanese. Mechanically, they're often the very same guts Deere bolted a green badge onto and charged you double for. 2 or 3 cylinder diesel, dead simple, and most of them sit under 25 horsepower, which, by law, means they never needed a single emissions part. No regen, no def, no filter to clog, not now, not ever. The price? $2,000 to $5,000 for a running one. But the honest catch here is real, so listen close. There's no local dealer, and you'll source some parts online instead of over a counter. That scares people off, and that is exactly why it stays cheap. But for a guy who already fixes his own gear, it's the closest thing to a cheat code on this whole list. And number 1, the one I'd put my own money on. An older Kubota L-series gear drive, built before 2013. The L2900, the L3400, right around that era. Here's why it takes the top spot. It's got enough tractor to do real work, a loader that lifts what you actually need lifted, and it was built just before the rules forced a filter and a computer onto everything with wheels. So it runs like the new ones, but it will never derate itself in the field to burn off soot, and no software locks you out of your own machine. Kubota reliability is not a myth. These things run for thousands of hours and shrug it off. The honest catch, and this is the single spec that decides everything. Get the gear drive, not a tired hydrostatic, and check what that loader actually lifts, not the horsepower printed on the sticker. Find a clean one, and it'll outlast, outwork, and outvalue anything green and new on that lot. That's the one I'd write the check for. And here's the part worth writing down. You're not going to find these 5 up front at a shiny dealership. You find them on Tractor House, filtering by the older years most buyers scroll right past. You find them at farm auctions and estate dispersals, where a whole life's worth of equipment sells off in a single afternoon. And you find the real steals in late fall and winter, when nobody's shopping and the cold's got everybody spooked off the idea. That's exactly when a patient guy with cash and a trailer gets to write his own price. So here's what all 5 of these have in common. Every one of them was built before a tractor turned into something you finance but never fully own. The new machine ties you to a dealer for the whole life of it. And Deere got sued by the Federal Trade Commission over exactly that, then settled a separate farmer lawsuit for $99 million because people got sick of not being allowed to fix what they paid for. These 5 old machines don't have that string attached. You buy it, you own it, you fix it in your own shop, on your own time. That's not nostalgia talking, that's leverage. The guy who buys smart old iron isn't behind the times. He's the one nobody at the lot can upsell. Next time, I'm breaking down the 3 loader brands that bend, crack, and spring a leak, and the 2 that'll outlive the tractor they're bolted to. And YouTube thinks you'll like the video on your screen right now, so click it. And if you made it all the way to the end with me, go ahead and subscribe. Because the next time a salesman tells you that old tractor is a risk, you'll know he's the one who's nervous.